Welcome to the 48 Rules of Retirement. Today we examine retirement rule number 44, acquire new hobbies. Author J.D. Salinger said, "What really knocks me out is a book that, when you're all done reading it, you wish the author was a terrific friend of yours and you could call him up on the phone." That doesn't happen much, though. There are historic dates that people long remember. Remember the Mount St. Helens explosion? Dormant since 1857, the 1980 eruptions in Washington state dramatically announced the volcano's reawakening. There have been historic airplane accidents, avalanches, blizzards, droughts, earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, typhoons, landslides, nuclear disasters, oil spills, tornadoes and tsunamis. There have been assassinations. JFK, Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr. and Indira Gandhi to name a few. If you are like me, there are also personal dates that you can never forget. I remember a blind date once, but perhaps we had better not go there. There's also a date that I find difficult to explain to male friends, particularly those aware of my zest for sports. When I was young, I played for 3 hockey teams in 3 different leagues. I was rarely home evenings except to eat and sleep. Most of my waking hours were consumed in frosty arenas. This brings me to May 14, 2002, the date of the 7th and deciding National Hockey League playoff game between Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators. Where was I? Sitting at a men's book club meeting discussing the merits of Clara Callan, Richard Wright's Giller Prize-winning novel. This book has no hockey in it. It concerns 3 women in the 1930s, particularly Clara, a small-town school teacher. She doesn't even figure skate. I can't believe it. We scheduled our book talk for the same day that the Leafs played the Senators. As a token of respect to our dwindling testosterone, Tony, our host, did leave the TV on, without audio, but nobody watched. When I got home, my spouse reported that I missed a great game. As we age, our roles seem to strangely reverse. I recommend book clubs to fellow male retirees. They constitute a fun night out, and it's really neat to watch old men pull an opponent's sweater over his head and pummel one another in a heated discussion concerning plot structure and characterization. We are a hard-reading, garrulous crew, a mini-literati think tank composed of aging gray matter and dwindling testosterone, devoted to the noble task of interpreting great literature. It wasn't easy. Tony insisted that we read magazines. Who has time for novels? Peter asked if email counted. I spend a lot of time on the computer. At one point, we were on the verge of accepting movie reviews and pizza menus. Finally, good literary taste prevailed and we abandoned TV, computers and the daily racing form for books with spines, stories with style. We began with No Great Mischief and The Shipping News. Some talked earnestly of moving east to take up fishing until we reminded them that there were no fish left. There are more books now than you can read in a lifetime. In fact, when I asked an old friend if he had read Jonathan Franzen's The Corrections, he confided that he reads only authors aged in mid to late life. Young people don't have the experience, and I don't have a lot of time. Back to Tolstoy and Shakespeare, I guess. Gary advocated that our club buy t-shirts with logos. We decided on the Men's Book Club, printed on the front with TMBC rules on the back. Each month we don our attractive t-shirts, drive to a member's home, and share deep thoughts on a predetermined book title. No beer or wine may be served until the discussion is over. These talks generally last 5 minutes, and then we get on to side issues such as the Leafs, politics, surgery, who has died recently, the price of gasoline, and of course, beer. If a TMBC member cannot make it to the meeting, he phones in his review. For example, Ward missed our last discussion, but called instead to tell the group that he thought the book was delightful. He spoke plainly and concisely, aptly summing up 645 pages in one word. Men can do that. Our book club does not waste a lot of time on pleasantries. We get right to the issue. Late in the evening, we agreed that delightful best summed up our collective feelings. If you think you might like to start a book club, here's a list of some books to get you started reading by the Men's Book Club, all of which are delightful. The Way the Crow Flies by Anne Marie MacDonald, Stupid White Men by Michael Moore, Life of Pi by Jan Martel, Family Matters by Rohinton Mistry, and The Stonecarvers by Jane Urquhart. Crow Lake by Mary Lawson, The English Passengers by Matthew Neal, Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood, Deafening by Francis Atani, Shake Hands with the Devil by Romeo Dallaire, Paris 1919 by Margaret Macmillan, The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, East of Eden by John Steinbeck, The Grapes of Wrath, by John Steinbeck. We like Steinbeck. Today's retirement affirmation. I am accepting of others, particularly those who, when they visit, bring their own beer. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the Retirement Coach channel, as well as provide comments as we seek to expand the videos. Have a great day, and get ready for retirement rule number 45, soon to come. Thanks for watching.